Revsportz. It is another build-up video to the Women's World Cup 2024, and today we're going to be talking about the strengths and weaknesses of the Pakistan women's team. And I am Gargi Raut. Joining me today is Trisha Ghoshal, Ishan Shahane, Bharat Ramraj, and Sneha Sheesh Mukherjee. But before we get everyone's opinions on this, let's go through the Pakistan squad. We'll start with Alia Riaz, Javed, Sadaf Shams, Amin, Sana, Nida Dar, Omaima Sohail, Arup Shah, Feroza, Muniba Ali, Diana Beg, Nasra Sandhu, Sadia Iqbal, Tasmia Rubab, and Tuba Hassan. That's the squad that we have. That's the squad that has been announced with one travelling reserve. We'll not talk about that because it doesn't really make any sense. Trisha, let's start with you first, as we always do. When you look at the Pakistan team, do you see any, solid strengths when you look at, like we have discussed about India and South Africa so far, and we always had, one or two names or even three or four names that really jumped out at us and said that, I'm here to save the match. But when you look at the Pakistan team, do you see any of those players?
Not really. I think you cannot really pinpoint and say these are the 2-3 players who are going to be saviors, like we have spoken about Marizane Cap for South Africa or Smriti or Shafali for India. But yeah, there are players who can chip in with good bits and pieces on their good days. Like, for example, Muniba Ali, I think right at the top of the order, she has a lot of shots. And the best part is she has a lot of guts. So she can come down to the bowlers, take the attack. The other, Tasmeen is there in the squad, right? Tasmeen, the left-arm pacer?
Yes.
She is a very good bowler, the left-arm pacer. What I liked about her, because I was recently watching the South Africa series, she has this, I think, almost perfect length, which is just back of good length. Keeps hitting that area, especially in the death overs, and makes it very, very difficult for the batters. Also, the other thing I liked about Tasmeen is her temperament, because she was taken to the cleaners by Sunelu in the 19th over of the second T20I. But she kept her cool in 18th over in the second T20I. And then in the 20th over, when she came back, she was back right at the mark. So that's brilliant. I think the captain looks really good. Fatima Sana looks like someone who wants to take the game ahead. And the best part which I liked was they lost the first T20I against South Africa. We all know South Africa is a huge team, and it's safe and quite easy to say that South Africa's cricket is at least 2 notches higher than Pakistan's cricket. But Fatima promoted herself up the order in the second and the third T20Is, and she got the runs as well. So I think these 3 players are I think are going to be key factors if Pakistan has to play well, because do not forget, Group A is a very, very tough group.
Yeah, and Gadi, I think to add to that, from what I've noticed, I think they have a pretty experienced spin lineup. I think Nida Dar and Nasra Sandhu have that sort of experience which might be beneficial in the subcontinent, in my opinion. So I think in those wickets where the ball might be slow, might turn, I think that sort of experience and that turn might be beneficial for this team, because you want the spinners to also deliver, and like how Bharat has also mentioned in the past for the Indian women's team, how the spinners can actually come into play. It works the same for this Pakistan side, in my opinion. So I think this will definitely be another big advantage.
Yeah, totally.
Just adding to that point, you look at someone like Nasra Sandhu, the left-arm spinner. I think she has very good control. Nida Dar as well. Even if you go back to the 2017 World Cup, 50-over World Cup, when for the first time I watched Nasra Sandhu around that time, she had a repeatable action. She can land the ball wherever she wants to. And Fatima Sana, one more point I wanted to add. A few times I was watching her bat number 7. I was wondering why this girl is batting at number 7 so low down the order. She has that hitting power. At least compared to other players, she has that hitting power and she can bat at number 5. And good to see that she's batting at number 5. She can also take wickets. I like the way she goes round the wicket to left-handed batters, and does have a decent yorker from round the wicket. I don't exactly remember who was the Sri Lankan batter, but from round the wickets, she bowled a really good Yorker, even against Thailand, a couple of matches. It's there on YouTube. She does that well, and she played a key role in that T20I series win in New Zealand, where she picked up wickets. And good to see that she's taking extra responsibility now, not just as a batter, but also as a kind of captain. So Alia Riaz, I don't know why she has a strike rate below 100. Because if you look at her long levers, even it's not just my words, long levers. Even if you look at her batting coach, former batting coach Andy Richards, not Viv Richards, once said that she has such long levers. She's different from a typical Pakistani girl, and she should be doing much better. I'm a bit surprised whenever I look at her strike rate, it is below 100. Maybe if she had played for a better team.
I think I have an answer to why her strike rate is below 100, because most of the times Nida Dar and Alia Riaz have had to control the innings and has had to build the partnerships where they have not been able to play freely, which is why Bharat, I was just saying that Fatima promoting herself and getting runs actually helps, because then Alia also gets that freedom, that is there. But Snehashish, I think one point which we were discussing in the message, which you only mentioned here, somehow you have forgotten that, about the pitch and conditions.
Yes, absolutely. I think for Pakistan, the best advantage is that the conditions in UAE will be, they are mostly closed to their home advantage. I think their spinners will come into play, and as Ishan mentioned, that the spinners will be key for Pakistan's success. But overall, if you see that Pakistan team's main problem is the consistency. One day they played brilliantly, but next 2-3 matches they are out of any thoughts.
That means so I think that's not strength. Inconsistency is not their strength.
Okay.
Okay, now on to the weaknesses.
Okay.
I think all 5 of us have one word for them. Inconsistency.
Inconsistency. Both the men and the...
Let's end the show.
Both men and women.
Yeah.
That part is consistent, that they're inconsistent.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
So actually, I have to add one more. That is also consistently poor among both men and women. I think this was in the second T20I. There was a fielder in the fine leg, and the ball went straight to her. It was straight to her. She just left the ball, and she said, because of the lights, I cannot see anything. I mean, she left it. You cannot leave the ball. Kuch to effort you have to put in, na? And that is there. I mean, their fielding is a huge issue apart from the consistency part. Honestly, what I liked was they scored 181 in the second T20I, and in the third T20I yesterday they put on a 151 or 152, something of that sort. So if they can consistently hit the 150 mark, then I'll have to go with what Ishan, Bharat, Snehashish has been mentioning about spinners. That is when their spinners come into play, because if you score 75-80, no spinner, no bowler, I mean, only probably wind which blows away the bells and the umpires give it out can help. Otherwise, it's gonna be much of a, I think, walkover for the opponent. I think these are the 2 points which actually kill Pakistan's chances mostly.
And we saw that inconsistency in this series as well. The recently concluded South African series, 2-1. They lost the series 2-1. So, it just, their inconsistency is screaming at this point. But look at that reaction from Srijan. Ishan, what do you think? Weakness,
I think, Agi, from what I've noticed, is that the Pacers haven't gotten too many wickets in the recent past. So I think if your Pacers up front aren't getting wickets for you, then who do you expect to get wickets? Because obviously you want your Pacers to get the breakthroughs right up front. So that will definitely be a weakness, because a lot of other teams have an explosive batting lineup. We spoke about India and South Africa, a few days back itself, and both these teams have a strong batting lineup up front, the top 3 or 4. So if the batters get going from the other teams, and if the Pakistani bowlers can't deliver or get wickets, it's almost game over for them in the first 8 to 10 overs. So that, in my opinion, will be the biggest weakness. Besides that, I think Bharat has more ideas on the same topic.
Good that you put Bharat on the spot, but put Bharat because
I guess one more point to add is perhaps Sidra. I mean, okay, she's been playing at number 3 and 4, but her strike rate again is at 85, 87, around 88. He talked about India's top order being so strong, But if you look at Pakistan, Sidra, I mean, with a strike rate of 87, yeah, okay, if you have a strike rate of 100, 102, I can take it, but 85, 87 just seems a bit too low. So that's one more point I would add. And she's batting in your top order, likely in the power play, not going to really help. Maybe someone like Aisha Naseem, when she was around, at least she had a strike rate of 115, 120, maybe 124 as well. So somewhere they don't have the kind of replacements for players like Sidra. I mean,
yeah.
To add to both Ishan and Bharat's points, sorry Snehashish, every time you are trying to say something, I'm just hijacking. But see, the pace bowling problem is there because Diana Baig was out with injury, and she's one of their most important bowlers. And she has just come back from the injury, and we know it's not easy. You can't come back from the injury and be right right on the money from ball one. The South Africa T20 guys would help her, but I don't think she's still in that match mode, if there is, if you understand what I'm trying to say. And about Sidra, I mean, Bharat, you've pointed out so rightly that Sidra, I mean, doesn't have enough shots. Again, not being demeaning as such, but every time she's getting struck, I mean, especially when she plays spinners, her go-to shot is reverse sweep. But now the problem with the reverse sweep is she just doesn't see where the ball is bouncing or where exactly is it heading to. Yeah. And that costs her wicket a few times. So I think that is a bit of a problem. Quality in the middle order. I think that is what Bharat is trying to point out. 3, especially at number 3, because Nida comes at 4 and then Fatima at 5. And then there would be Alia and others. I think that number 3 spot, again, a spot that India is also fighting for, because that number 3 spot in T20I somehow is dicey, because you need a player who's technically sound as well as can go for big shots. And at number 3 probably you don't need a 140 strike rate, but you definitely need nothing less than a 100, 105, 110 strike rate. So these two are issues. Sorry Snehashish, over to you.
No, nothing much to add, but I think another problem is that winning matches on crunch situation, like winning crunch situations. I think just like this, series decider against South Africa. So you had a chance to, before the World Cup, you would have won that match. That will give them a huge boost going forward, because you are winning at home and against South Africa, one of the favorites to win the World Cup. So I think that would have given them a huge boost. But I think that mentality is not there. They have not won on such situations. I think winning is a habit, you all know, and I think that would have been a good help to them. But that is an issue going forward to World Cup. I think that will cause them in the World Cup also.
Yeah, so I think that pretty much sums it up. Unless any of you have any points that you would like to add. No, good. So good as in good job, guys. But I think this is the end of our show. We've discussed 3 teams now: India, South Africa, and now Pakistan. We still have a lot of other teams left, so stay tuned. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And stay tuned throughout the build-up for the World Cup and through the World Cup as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.